The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening and welcome to the webinar this evening. We're going to be starting this call in just a moment. My name's Kim Bradley. So we're just going to give it just another couple of seconds for everyone to connect into the call. So thanks for joining, everyone. I can see the got a good number of attendees coming on the live call tonight, which is what we like to see. So welcome to the call, guys. We're going to be starting in just a few seconds. Give a chance for everyone to join. So let's see if I recognise some people joining the call tonight. Well, we've got Annie Holmes, my lovely Annie. Hope you're well. Brian Thompson. We've got Kat Wilton. Welcome to the call. We've got Jeremy and Kathleen White all the way up from the Edinburgh team. Welcome to the call. Fantastic, fantastic. So what are we? Just a minute past 6. That's perfect. Well, and one of the people I can see on the call tonight is a very good friend of mine, Helen Fetzer, because we're going to be talking tonight about gut health and the microbiome, and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this subject. But Helen, I know she's done some amazing things transforming her health, because your health, Helen, it was in quite a bad place at one stage, wasn't it? And you've worked really hard to get your health into where the place is now. Tell us all about it.
Yes, thank you, Kim, and good evening, everybody. Just over 7 years ago, I finished my last radiotherapy treatment for breast cancer. And I have to say that I have never felt so tired and absolutely shattered. My mum had died of this same disease a few years earlier, so I was quite shocked, as because of that I ate healthy, I exercised, I didn't smoke, and I drank very little. So it came as a real shock to get this. But I used it in a positive way. I used it as my wake-up call, and I made some lifestyle changes. We got an allotment. I changed aspects in my business, and I also started looking for supplements, because I felt that though I had a good diet, it obviously wasn't enough.
Must have been ever so worrying, well, Helen, to, you know, when you went through that stage of your life, you must have been thinking, my word, you know, a worry that it could come back, or, you know, you need, obviously, you know, really important to look at those preventative measures. So yeah. Yes. So what did you do? What did you do to help prevent it?
Well, as I say, I started looking into supplements, and I took some, but I don't know if they made any difference. Then I think, maybe 3-4 years ago we met at a meeting, and then you introduced me to the Synergy products, which I started to take and felt a difference. So about 18 months ago, I did the Purify kit to reset my gut, because I felt that I needed to get rid of the toxins and that from the treatment that I had. I decided that I wasn't going to take the medication that they gave me, that I could do it without it, that I didn't actually want it to take that medication. So supplements were even more important for me. Having taken the first 21-day challenge, I just noticed how my energy levels went back to normal. And that was the first time since having had the cancer that I just felt that I had really good energy and I could do things like I used to do before. So it really did help. And now every 6 months I do a 21-day challenge, because I want to keep toxins down and just to keep the body as healthy as possible.
Yeah, you must feel so relieved that you've got you know, a means of keeping your health at the best place possible, Helen.
Yes, yeah, most definitely. And also having that just at the time when you finish your 5-year treatment, because what had happened with my mom, she went for her final 5-year checkout and they told her that the cancer had come back. So actually getting to 5 years and having done the microbiome, it was a relief to be told that no, you're clear and you can go. It was a big weight came off my shoulders.
Yeah, and I bet. Oh, do you know what? I so appreciate you sharing that with us, because you know, that really will inspire an awful lot of people that might be listening to your story tonight. So thanks so much, Helen, for coming on and sharing.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
And we'll actually hear from Helen in a couple of weeks' time. Helen's going to be doing one of the subjects for us. So you'll get a chance to hear from Helen and her passion about health once again. So just a few more hellos. We've got Belinda's joined us, and Deirdre's joined us, Jackie Barnard, Jenny Davis. Who else have we got? Marjorie Kerr's joined us. I know she's very good friends of Helen, so that's wonderful to see. So with that, one of my other friends has joined us on the call tonight, and he's become a very good friend very, very quickly, because this guy is just so caring about so many people. And Robert, I am so glad to have you join us, because I know that you've been working on your health an awful lot as well, and you said that you'd be happy to share what your experience was, Robert. So thanks for joining us on the call today.
Hey Kim, how are you doing?
Really well, really well. Very excited about this subject on the gut.
Yeah, I am. I'm excited too, and what a privilege it is to be on with you. And Helen, what an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing it. Hearing stories like that gives everybody such a lift, and it motivates and inspires people. And you know, thank you so much for sharing. What a challenge, and what an incredible result you've had. I love hearing things like that. But you know, as we all know, the microbiome is kind of a new, modern, kind of emerging science. And 5, 6, 7 years ago, you know, it was really kind of unheard of. And you know, my background is in athletics, and I've always kind of taken care of myself and worked hard, and tried to have a healthy diet, get the right foods in, and put in the effort, and you can physically kind of do things. Well, I had a bad injury, and I was laid up in the hospital for a long time. I had to retire from playing football, and I kind of went through a little kind of bit of frustration, and my diet changed, and I put on some weight, and I was unhealthy. I'd had no energy. You know, I'd been on crutches for 9 months, and just my body was in a bad way, and I was kind of given the all clear to start working out, and it was a slow process. You know, I'd put some weight on, but I'd lost a lot of muscle mass and put on. I was just kind of not healthy, you know, after laying about in a hospital bed. And no matter what I tried to do, I tried to clean my diet up and work out, and I just wasn't getting the results I wanted. And I felt sluggish, and I wasn't motivated. I didn't have the same direction that I once had. And I, like Helen, you know, looked at the gut microbiome, and I was able to do the Purify program. And I was really strict with that. I'm the sort of person that when I get my head on something, I'm really strict with it. And what unbelievable results I had. You know, I changed how within a few days, how I felt. I was able to get up and work out in the morning. I was struggling kind of with gassy and bloating, and that was gone. And what a difference it made, quick results. And you know, and I've been really fortunate to help other people in their quest for health, and to see them change their demeanor from the outside in and from the inside out is quite remarkable. And I love having the opportunity to share the things that we know and give people an opportunity to really change their health. And all they have to do is make a few decisions and really work hard. And it's been inspiring for me to be around people like yourself and Sue and John, and watch how you help people. And we're just sharing a message, and those people put forth the effort, and incredible things can happen. Once you've got your health, so many great things can happen. And you know, I urge you to listen and really take in what Kim's going to say and learn from her as she shares her knowledge, because it's inspiring and it really helps you only have one shot at this, you know. So thank you so much for having me, Kim.
Oh, thanks, Robert. Thank you. And I remember your recovery from this injury, and it certainly did speed things up so much for you. And I think that's one of the things is it's achieving our best version of elite health, isn't it? No matter where we start from. And it had a big impact on you. So thank you so much for sharing tonight. I really appreciate it. So we're going to get started on tonight's nugget. We've got lots of people join the call tonight, which is very exciting news. So thank you to everyone that's on the call. So tonight's subject then is all about the microbiome. So the whole week's focus is what is the microbiome and details about it. So in my talk today, it's going to be like an overview, because there's lots of information about it that you might have heard the terminology, but maybe not really understood what it is and what its functions are. We've got the lovely Ginny tomorrow on the importance of prebiotics and probiotics. So again, some terms you may have heard, but maybe you don't know what these categories or what you can do for yourself to boost up your prebiotics and probiotics. Sarah Andrews is going to be taking us through the microbiome inside and out. So that's looking at the skin side of things as well as the insides of our bodies. That's on Thursday. And efficient removal of waste. Well, do you know, it's so key to the body to be able to detoxify itself and remove what isn't working for it. And yet digestive health is probably the biggest problems that people are facing. So Sue Sharp's going to be taking us through what that means to the body and ways that we can improve it. So what a great week we've got lined up this week. So let's kick off with what is the microbiome. So you may have heard this term microbiome quite a lot recently. There's been a number of articles on the BBC News. And there was a recent series on BBC Radio 4 called The Second Genome as well, which I think you can listen to that again. So the research in this field is very exciting, and I really genuinely believe it's the next big breakthrough in understanding the origin of disease. So what actually is your microbiome? Well, for starters, it's an acquired organ that begins from the moment of birth and consists of bacteria, microflora, viruses, fungi, and parasites that live on us and in us. And seriously, we could do an entire webinar on how we acquire this organ from birth, because that in itself is an incredibly fascinating topic. And, you know, because we are born sterile, and yet we acquire this through a variety of sources. So maybe that's another one for the future. But although not strictly the microbiome, we also house things like heavy metals and chemical residue from sort of manufacturing, modern day manufacturing as well. So far, around 10,000 species of bacteria have been found that live as part of our ecosystem, with around 4,000 different species being in the gut alone. And altogether, we are home to around 100 trillion microbes in our body. And when you think about it, that's absolutely staggering. That's more than there are stars in the galaxy. So this is why understanding what this microbiome is so important and impactful to our health, because it's huge. One of the things that the latest research has realized is that the genes of this organ, that is the microbiome, outnumber us 10 to 1. So we have around 19,000 to 20,000 human genes, and our microbiome has about 3.3 million genes. So the expression of these genes and the way it influences our health is what is currently being unraveled, because so far health has kind of been focused on the 10% of who we are, and the 90% of who we are has been pretty much ignored. And this is what's changing. So this is the emerging science. So one of the things it's unveiled is that actually this balance within our microbiome is really the root cause of disease. It lies within the power of our microbiome. So 2/3 of our microbiome is in our gut, and that begins at the mouth and travels through your body in a big long tube until it reaches the other end. So that's what when we term the gut, it's that big tube that goes all the way through the body. But most of your microbiome lives in your intestines. And these microbes can be working very hard to help us maintain optimal health and weight. So they do things like they synthesize vitamins. So, you know, some of the vitamins that we essentially need, our body doesn't even manufacture those. We've outsourced it. We've outsourced a lot of digestive functions to this microbiome that we have. They obviously help to break down our food into smaller particles ready for absorption. They train our immune system. They have a big functionality with regards to the birth of our immune system, which happens a lot, mostly in the gut, training those brand new immune system cells on what sort of things to react to and what sort of things aren't a worry to the body. You know, they regulate hormones, so things like serotonin, which is your happy hormone. 90% of serotonin is manufactured in your gut. So a lot of your mood expression can come from a balanced gut. Other hormones like GABA, which is your relaxation and de-stress hormone. Oxytocin is your love hormone and your self-esteem. And things like dopamine as well, which motivates you towards your goals and dreams. And all of these sorts of hormones and female hormones, you know, like when women have going through the menopause and things like that, and they can be having periods of time where it feels quite uncomfortable. This can be due to the way our gut is working. A lot of hormone regulation happens in the gut. And even communication with the brain through this gut-brain link that we have. This microbiome can control our actions and even our emotions and the way we think. So there's a lot more to it than we realize. And when it's out of balance, that's when it can lead to inflammation, obesity, tiredness, as we said, hormonal issues, and quite frankly, a whole raft of complaints and diseases that can mean that we're generally living under par. And there are so many people who think that they have their best optimal health right now, but they don't. They are living under par. The bar is set too low. And when we make these adjustments, well, our world is our oyster, literally, in our emotions and everything. You know, when we feel that we have a carefully balanced gut, you honestly feel fantastic. You're sleeping better. You've got an abundance of energy, you're more creative, you're more calm and relaxed. So it's more energy, but not in a frenetic kind of way, in a very much more of a calm and relaxed kind of way. Your weight is managed better. You won't have cravings, they'll become a thing of the past. Your digestion is going to be excellent. And altogether, you're going to feel a whole lot younger and happier. So whatever, even if you're a really fit and healthy person, there's even more that you can get out of your body, believe you me. And wouldn't it be wonderful to feel on your A game every single day? So what we call elite health begins by targeting health at its core, which means rebalancing the microbiome to be working optimally for you once again. So why don't we have the perfect balance of the microbiome? What is actually causing some of the problems? Well, you know, it's mainly three areas which have changed dramatically: diet, lifestyle, and environment. So let's have a look at diet first. Well, in the 1950s, a revolution began in farming, food production, and processes to enable us to have more food available and for food to have a longer shelf life than it used to. So food became dried, canned, bottled, packaged, and processed. Food became a laboratory science of being chemically treated with stabilizers being added. Food became colored, preserved, Fats were removed because, you know, fats go off very quickly. So fats were removed from food so that their shelf life was longer, and carbohydrates were added. And then food was fortified with vitamins and minerals. And basically it moved food far away from animal or plant, which is the origin of what we eat. So just think about that. Think about your supermarket and and what the shelves are full with, and how much of that looks like the origin of the source, animal or plant. All of this has resulted in taste buds changing, a demand for greater ease of food preparation for the busy person, and this began to have a profound effect on the microbes, who basically have to eat what we eat, with devastating consequences, especially to our weight management. So then let's have a look at lifestyle. So our lifestyle has changed a great deal too. As a nation, we're generally drinking a lot more alcohol than we used to, person by person. We became more sedentary, with lives of office living, you know, long commutes potentially, and certainly I think this applies to most of us, technology to keep us occupied. And generally, people have an awful lot more stress as well. But probably the biggest lifestyle change that you may not have thought of has been medication and drugs. And although life-saving at times, antibiotics became prevalent everywhere after the Second World War, from worrisome infections to being standard in hospital care, to even being given to farm animals as a subclinical dose to help keep them healthier while they were living in large herds and cramped spaces. And one of the things they noted was that animals on antibiotics seemed to grow fatter and larger, yet somehow they didn't make that leap of understanding to why this was happening in humans, not until more recently. So, you know, microbes have been discovered more recently that help maintain an ideal weight, and also some that cause our body to lay down fat and demand sugary foods. So, you know, when you think about the next time you have a craving, you need to ask yourself whether it's really you that's got the craving. So further environment changes happened, you know, the air quality changed, pollution particles hit the air with industrialization, farming moved to more pest control, weed control, disease control, you know, even affecting the very soil that the plants were grown in. And we also become a nation that was, you know, we had sort of germ warfare. Advertisers told us that germs were bad and they had to be eliminated. So we set about with antibacterial soaps and wipes and cleaning agents, and trying to keep our children as sterile for as long as possible, because no one told us that actually germs are also very good, so needed, and so interdependent to your very livelihood. So you can see why so much has changed in our day-to-day life. It's a sorry state of affairs, but a revolution is coming and more science is emerging by the day. More people are realizing that gut microbes are friends to be nurtured and cared for, and the call tomorrow with pre and probiotics will help you with that. So what can we do for ourselves? Well, we can go back to basics. We can eat good whole foods. We can choose organic where possible. We can move our body more and make sure we exercise. You know, just 30 minutes a day makes a big impact on your gut health. And we can do a detox. We can clear out some of the chemical junkyard that's been deposited in your cells, especially your fat cells, and help rebalance your microbes once again, with the goal being elite health and living your life to the fullest. So I'm just going to very briefly tell you about the Purify program that will feature this week. It's a comprehensive transformation program. It features a high protein, high phytonutrient and low carbohydrate nutrition plan. It has transformative supplements, light exercise guidelines, and a community support. It's a 21-day holistic package which has huge improvements on elevating your health. And it really does kickstart your body, your mindset, your weight and your attitude, and even your taste buds change. One product I'm going to feature is Biome DT. And this utilizes 3 distinct pathways to purify your bodies. This is all about eliminating toxic waste. It detoxifies, cleanses, and balances your microbiome. It's one of the 5 within the package. It lubricates the digestive tract to facilitate the elimination of contaminants. It activates enzymes that help to pull out and remove these contaminants. It aids healthy bacteria with pH balancing fermentable fibers. It's very green, you know, it's got the broccoli in it, you know, it's very alkalizing. I did a talk last week about how important it is to be more alkaline. This product gets you alkaline very quickly. And it supports healing the digestive lining with L-glutamine, which is really essential to help prevent leaky gut. Leaky gut is, in a way, it's a side effect of a poor balance of good and bad microbes in the gut that can cause the gut wall to have perforations in it. And undigested food particles can travel into your bloodstream when this happens, and this can lead to the body becoming inflamed. So it also can overactivate the immune system. It can cause autoimmune disease response, allergies, asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, and all sorts of things. So L-glutamine has been well known to heal the gut and help bring down inflammation. So this is one of the 5 products in the Purify program, and it's the big purifier of them all. It's the one that gets rid of the toxic junkyard that we're carrying around and does a great deal towards healing the gut tract. So, you know, this really helps you to address the damage that's been caused by diet, by lifestyle, and by the environment, and it's key to resetting the gut. So there's so much more I could go on, and I can't believe the time has flown by already. I absolutely love training on the gut because it's such a powerful subject for your health and vitality. And I need to tell you about Ginny Burgess, who's coming on the call tomorrow. She's going to be talking about pre and probiotics. Now, Ginny lives in High Wycombe in Bucks. She's an author, a blogger, and she's a mother of 4, and she's a passionate health enthusiast. Ginny joined originally to improve the health of her family. She joined Synergy, and through the results of that, she became passionate about helping others when she started to see the changes in herself, her husband, her mother, her children, and so on. So Ginny now writes many articles about health and well-being to educate people on the path to taking care of themselves. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to having Ginny on the call tomorrow. On Sunday, we're going to be going through Synergy as a business opportunity because, you know, I'm really so passionate about this company. I've been with the company for 7 years, and I just love it. I love the way we work, and so I'm going to be going through the Synergy as a business opportunity with you on Sunday at 8 o'clock. And I'd really like to share my story about that and give you some information to think about whether this could be an opportunity for you. And then for all of the people that we are, you know, starting with Synergy, we've got a Business Accelerator Training Day on the 9th of June. So that's for current team members, any new team members. You know, I've been sat with Sue Thomas and John Burgess today. We've been ironing out the program, and it's absolutely packed full of fantastic information to help people to get started with a view to basically helping a lot more people in their lives, you know, and caring for a lot more people in our lives. So we're really looking forward to having that day, an in-person day with everyone. So that's the program that we've got. So, you know, if you would like some support for your health, or if you want to improve your performance, if you are thinking that this reset of the gut program, 21 days, what's it all about? Will it interest me? How do you do it? You know, all these kinds of questions that you might be thinking. I just ask you please to get back to the person who invited you along to the webinar tonight and just get those questions answered. They'd be delighted to help you to understand the program so that you can make an informed decision on whether it's for you. So all that remains is to say, from the Elite Health team, from the Foundation of Elite Health series, we thank you so much for taking the time out to join the live calls. It really fuels us up. And we will see you on the call tomorrow night at 6. Have a lovely evening, everybody. Thanks for joining.